Hi there. Well, I wanted to talk about 7.6 and just 7.6. 7.6 does a little bit of a review of what we did in 7.4 and 7.5. So we're going to be looking at the same idea, the same percent equation, the percent times the total, the total price, the total amount of sales, the total number of M&Ms, and then in this case, it'll be sale and price because we're going to be limiting this percent rate here. And that would be equal to, maybe the part that you wanted. So in this case, the percent is in this section, the percent is either going to be a tax rate, and you'll take the tax rate. The tax rate will be expressed as a percent. So you'll need to move the decimal to the left twice before you do any multiplying or dividing, times the purchase price, the price of the item you're buying, and you will get the tax amount. So if you take the percent, the tax rate, times the price of your item, you get the tax amount. There'll be some times where they may ask you for the tax amount, and they'll give you these two. There'll be some other times, and we'll do some examples, where they'll give you the percent, and they'll give you this tax amount, and they'll want the original price of the item. And that is just a one-step algebra. You would divide both sides by the percent rate to leave the price by itself. So we'll be manipulating this around. So, this equation is used if they want the tax, the amount of the tax, or they would want the price. Either one of those, I would come to this one. But if they want the tax rate itself, you could use this one. So if they wanted this right here, you just divide both sides by the price, and that would leave this alone. So in other words, the tax rate, which does need to be expressed as a percent eventually, is equal to the tax amount divided by the price. So I manipulated this equation and divided both sides by the price. And again, notice the tax rate and the tax amount match, which is what we want. These two ideas always match with their units as far as what you're getting. All right, so those two equations you're going to use in this section. The other one deals with a commission rate. This is kind of a review of the last section. You would take the commission rate, which is also a percent. Here, let me draw a line here. Okay, so we have a commission rate. We take that rate times the sales, the total sales. Okay. And what we're going to get is the amount of the commission. So the commission amount. How much did you make in commission? All right. So again, this is a template, an equation or a template that you would want to use if you're looking for the commission amount. How much did they make in commission if they sold so much at a certain percent, at a certain commission rate? I would also use this one if they wanted the total sales, if they gave you these two. And if they give you these two and they want this, you'll have to do one algebra step in order to find the total sales. But I would still fill this in. However, if you're looking for the commission rate itself, I don't know, I should have probably moved it over a little bit. This is a percent. I would take the commission amount divided by the total sales. So I'm going to do that algebra step and create another template. So you guys just have these templates when you take your test and do your homework. Okay, so these are the four that we're going to look at until we get to the last two on your assignment. And the last two on the assignment, they deal with this, but they're a little bit different because the commission rate is split up. But we'll look at those two and give you something to kind of follow, and hopefully you'll understand it a little bit. All right, so what we're going to do is let's look at this tax rate one. Let's look at these two. Let's work with these two and some examples. And then I'm not sure what I did with my examples. Let me see if they're under here. I think they are. Yes, they are. Okay. So that just kind of goes through the formulas, but we're going to look at this number 6 here. These three deal with tax rates, or, deal with tax. We have a Texas sales tax. All right. The the sales tax rate in Texas is 6.25%. How much sales tax would be charged on a riding lawnmower that costs $852? So we're going to take our tax rate, which we're given, times, we're not looking for the tax rate, so we're going to use the other one. The price is equal to the tax. So we're given the tax rate, 6.25%. We will have to move the decimal over before we multiply or divide. Depends on which one of these we're looking for. How much sales tax would be charged on a riding lawnmower that costs $8? So they give you the price of the object and they want the tax. So if I multiply these two together, I will get the tax. And again, this is 0.0625. Otherwise, if you don't move that decimal over, your answer is not going to make any sense. So then when we multiply these together, I had to run and get my calculator. So we come up with a tax of, I guess I'll just put it over here, of $53.25. Now, if they ask for the total purchase price, you would take the cost of the lawnmower and add the tax to get the total purchase price, including tax. Not too bad. All right, let's look at this one right here, the Tennessee sales tax. The sales tax rate in Tennessee is 7%. How much sales tax is charged on a purchase of 3 dress shirts for $23 each? They're not asking for the tax rate. So if they're not asking for the tax rate, then you automatically know it's dealing with tax. Oops. You just write this one down because they're not asking you for the tax rate. Then it's this one. You're using the tax rate that's given. You'll use this template. So you can just write it down, and then here on the problem. So we're going to be taking the tax rate times the price equals the tax. I know to use that template because they're not asking me for the tax rate. There's only 2 when you deal with taxes. There's only 2 for commissions. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take the tax rate. The tax rate is 7% times, now the price. Be aware that you're buying 3 of these dresses. So the total price is 3 times 23. So this represents the total price. Okay, is the 3 times the 23. And you could do that first if you wanted to. Or you can just multiply across. When you're multiplying it doesn't matter the order when everything is multiplying. So 69, they're actually spending $69. And you have to add, we had that 7% tax. So we have 0.07. Okay, so we have to change that. Okay, we know we're spending $69, 3 dresses. So we'll have 0.07 times 69. So just be careful of the little hidden things. Make sure you've got 3 dresses. The price is not just 23. So we have 0.07 times 69. $4.83. Okay. As far as the tax, what do they want? How much sales tax? If they wanted the total purchase price, we'll add the 69 in. Otherwise, that's it. Okay, let's look at number 8. I don't know how to spell that or pronounce that. Like, okay, doesn't matter. Digital piano. We have a piano that sells for $1,899. What would be the sales tax rate if the sales tax is this right here? Well, if they want the rate, if they want the tax rate, we'll have to make sure it's a percent. Our answer is a percent. You take the tax divided by the sale price. So I'm just kind of using that other template. You could use the original. You're going to be given these two, and to solve it for the tax rate, you would divide both sides by the price. So you can just use this all the time, okay? Or you can use this template when you're trying to find the percent. So our tax rate is the tax, which is $132.93, divided by the price, which is $1,899. So we'll go ahead and they didn't tell us where to round it off, so hopefully it's not too long. Divided by 1,899. Ah, perfect. But tax rates need to be expressed as a percentage rather than just a decimal. So we'll move it to the right twice to make it a percent. So we're going to move it to the right twice. 7% was the sale tax rate. So if you do know the tax and the price, you can figure out what the rate is. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it for sales tax. Now we're going to look at commission here. Same idea. We have Martha's, we have two templates to use, either the one here, let me show it to you here. I don't know if it'll go out of focus. Ah, good job. So either the commission rate times the total sales is how much you would make with a commission. But if you're asking for the commission rate, you can divide this over to here and just use this. All right. Either one. Depends on what they want here, Are they looking for the commission rate? Excuse me, are they looking for the commission amount or the total sales? I would use this one. If they're looking for the rate, use this one. So this one's used for either one of those. But if you want the commission rate, I would just go to this one. A little bit easier, and it's not too bad. Well, anyways, let's try one here. We have Martha's commission rate is 18% for the sale of photo packages. Let me move this up. Well, I thought maybe I could make it a little bit larger, but maybe that's fine. What commission does she earn on the sale of $450 worth of photos? So we're looking for the commission. So we're going to use the one that is the commission rate. I'm just going to abbreviate that. Commission rate times the sale is equal to the commission amount, which is kind of what we're looking for in this case. All right, so the commission rate, 18%. Just start filling it in. Times the sale of 450. If I multiply those together, I'll get the commission amount. The commission amount's already by itself. Don't have to do any algebra. Move the decimal over twice. And multiply those together, and that's your commission amount. So 0.18 times 450. $81 is what you would make in commission. All righty, so we're just kind of filling that in. Let's look at another one here. What is the commission rate? Okay, so here we have direct sales. Vicki sells jewelry by doing in-home parties through a direct sales company. What is the commission rate she will earn if she sells $1,020 worth of jewelry and receives $255 as a commission? So in this case, I want the commission rate. So I would say, I would use the other template, the commission rate is equal to the commission amount, her commission in dollars, over the total sales. Since I'm looking for the rate, I'll use the other commission one. So here we'll go ahead and fill this in. We want the rate. So we have the commission she made, $255. The sales was 1,020. 255 divided by 1,020. And I get 0.25, but these rates need to be expressed as a percent. So we'll get 25% is what she makes in commission. All right. Okay. So we're going to look at a little bit of some of the homework. And again, I wanted to go over those last two. They're a little, they deal with the commission, but they're a little bit different. But let's go ahead, and I wanted to look at, let's see, some of these, the sale price. All right, I wanted to look at I think this will be your number 5. I might get rid of a couple of the problems that you're doing or replace them, but this will be around number 5. Oh, sorry about that. Let me see if I can bring that in. Ooh, a little bit too much. All right, well, here. I bet you guys can read that. Your eyes are better than mine. Okay, so we're looking at number 5, so ignore number 4. Number 4, they want the sales rate, so you just take the tax or the sales tax rate, take the tax divided by the amount. But anyways, all right, the sales tax is 4.055% for the city and 4% for the state. So the state wants 4% of your money and the city wants 4.055% of the tax, of the price of the object. Find the total amount paid for 6 boxes of chocolate at $17.57 each. Well, what we're going to do is, this is pretty simple here. We're going to add the two taxes together so that you must pay a total of, because we're going to be using the tax rate times the price is equal to the tax amount. That's the one we're going to be using because we're not asking for the tax rate. Well, the tax rate is 8.055%. So I added those two together. That's the total amount of tax you're going to be paying, times the price of the object, where you're getting 6 boxes and you're going to buy, and they're each $17.57. So this represents the total price, 6 boxes at that much each. And then you're going to pay this much. So we have 0.08055, moving our decimal to the right twice, times 6 times 17. Now, before I multiplied these together and then times this, you can, just for time's sake, take this times this times this. All right. And that will give you the tax. Times 6 times 17 point. So you really don't need to find this total right here. Okay. So the amount that we come up with when you multiply these 3 is 8.491581. That's what shows up on my calculator. So that's why I kind of dropped this down to think, all right, we're gonna have to round this. Simplify your answer, round to the nearest cent as needed. The cent is the 100th, because there's 100 pennies in a dollar. This is dollars. So here's our cent spot. So we look to the right, it is less than 5. So we're going to keep the 49. So we will be paying $8.49 in tax on these all 6 boxes at that price. So again, I just wanted you to see this right here. You know, you had to add those taxes together to get started. You know, and if you want to find the total price and then times that, that's fine. You'll get the same answer. Okay. All right. Now the next one I wanted to look at deals with the last couple on your homework. But before we do that, I have a sample that we need to look at first. All right. And then this is going to help us solve the last two in the homework problem. John receives 10% commission for the first $5,000 in sales and 16% commission for sales above $5,000. If John had 5,700 in total sales, what is his commission? So the commission is done in parts. So the first 5,000 has this, and anything over 5,000 will be this, and we'll add the two together. This is just like an overtime. If you have overtime, it's the same thing. You know, for the first 40 hours, you make a certain amount, and then over the 40 hours, you make a certain amount, and then you add the two together. So we're going to find this commission in parts. So he did go over, so the first 5,000, so out of this, he has 10%. So to find the commission, you take the rate times the sales. So of this, the first 5,000 is at 10%. Plus, all right, the 16%, he'll get this much on anything over 5,000. Well, to find out how much over 5,000, you take his pay and you subtract 5,000. And there's a reason why I'm doing that. Some of you are thinking, well, it's pretty obvious that he's 700 over 5,000. It's $700 that he's going to make this much. So the 5,000 is here and the 700 is here. But there's a reason why I'm writing like this, and that has to do with the problems, the last two problems on the homework. Okay, when I write all of this out, I'm going to get his commission, whatever the commission happens to be. Okay, whatever the commission has to be. So if I wanted to finish this, I would take 10%, 0.1, you can put the 0 there here, times 5,000 plus 0.16 times 700, you do what's in the parentheses there, would be equal to his commission. All right. And so you come up with 500 plus, oh, let's see, 0.16 times 700, $112 but he earned more commission on that 700 for a total of $612 in commission. Okay, whoa, I have to see that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at those last two homework problems. We'll do both of them, and your numbers should be different. And this is what we're going to look at here. Okay, we're going to be filling it in using this idea, because what they're going to do is they're going to give you the commission, and they want to know what this is right here. What was his total sales? All right, so they're going to give you the different rates. They're going to give you, you know, over 5,000, over 3,000, whatever that happens to be. They're going to give you that number, and we're going to be asked for this. So that is going to be our variable, and we're going to need to solve it. We're going to have all of these, even the commission is going to, you know, they're going to give you that. We're going to have to solve it for that right there. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. All right, here's our problem here. And I might look at number 10. I was just kind of looking at that right now, but all right. Sarah receives a 12% commission on the first 3,000 in sales and 15% on all sales of beyond 3,000. If Sarah receives a commission of 2,655, which is, pretty good, how much did she sell? So we're looking for that N. Well, I know that we have 12% for the first 3,000. So we take the commission rate times the sales. All right. Plus, here, I'm gonna, just a second, I don't like that to be, it's up there like that. So I'm gonna kind of move it down. There, I can write easier. So we have 12% times 3,000. That's how much she's gonna make on the first 3,000. Plus 15% over 3,000. Well, to find out how much over, you take her sales, her total sales, which we don't know, and you subtract 3,000. We don't know the total sales. And that is going to equal her commission. All right. So we have, this is the first 3,000 and 15% over 3,000. Well, before we were told what that is on this one right here. We were told that how much his sales were, so we parted it out. But now we weren't given that number right there. So we just put in I could have put in any variable, I just put it in N. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing. We were given the commission. All right, we need to solve it for N. And so we'll just kind of go through this a few steps, and it's kind of nice. This is a good review of solving equations. So here we're going to do their multiplication first. You can't do parentheses because you cannot take an N and subtract 3,000. They are not like terms. So we are following PEMDAS. There's no exponents, and so we're going to multiply. So we have to change these percentages before we can multiply. We'll have to use the distributive property here. Sometimes some of you guys like this algebra better than you do the adding fractions. Okay, so multiply. So we'll take 3,000 times 0.12, 360. I guess I knew that. Now I need to use the distributive property here for my multiplication, because you're taking this times this, which will give us 0.15 N. It's okay. We have a calculator. We can deal with decimals. Then 0.15, positive 0.15 times the 3,000 gives us a minus, because a positive times a negative is a negative, 450. All right, so far so good. So we've done our multiplication now. So what I'm going to do is, before I start to get the N by itself, over here on the left, I have two things I can combine. Neither one of these have an N. So I can take this negative 450 and combine it with this positive 360. Now, if you still want to, you can go plus a negative, if that helps. All right, so we have 90. So we have 0.15 N minus 90. It would be a negative 90 because you have more negatives. So you have 450 of these negatives and 360. So 360 of these will cancel out 360 of those, and you're still left with 90 of those though. So now we solve it. Now it's a two-step equation. So we add 90. We get rid of what's being added to or subtracted to the variable first. Okay. 0.15 N. Oh, I can do that. 2,740. Now to find out what our N is, remember N represents the sales, and this one, it'll be positive. You know, we know it's going to be over 3,000. All right, just because the problem's set up, we know our answer is going to be over 3,000. So divide by 0.15. That'll leave the N by itself, or a 1N. This creates a 1. So 2740 divided by 0.15. Oh, really? Let me make sure did I copy? Oh, let me make sure I copied it down right. Because I wanted it to come out to be a whole number, but it didn't. All right. So we come up with 18266.66. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the answer, say, okay, what do they want us to do with this 0.6666? All right. And it's 18,000. All right. So she went quite a bit over her 3,000. So she got 3% for anything over the 3,000. So about $15,000, roughly 15,000, she got 15%. So we'll just round off to the nearest cent. Okay. So we'll go to our cent, 18,266 point. So we've got 18,000, I think I said 1,000, but $18,266.67. All right. I believe I have the answers here. They wanted, okay, they wanted 18,300. If Sarah receives a commission, how much did she sell? All right, I'm going to have to look at that because they wanted 18,300. They wanted you to round off to the 300. Did I? No. All right. Well, I'm hoping that MyMathLab will accept this. So when you guys get to that, you might, if it won't accept it, round it off to 18,300. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that they rounded it off, and I didn't expect them to do that, but they are. So on that one, go ahead and round off to the nearest 100. So let's look at one more. Let's look at your other one, and then we'll be done. So there aren't that many problems in this section. 12. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, Sarah receives, and I might get rid of a couple of them. So there may only be 10 in this one because I was looking at the first two and I'm not really sure I like them. So I might just get rid of those. All right, Sarah receives 11% commission on the first 3,000 in sales and 15% on sales beyond 3,000. So again, it's still the 3,000. If Sarah receives a commission of 2,460, how much did she sell? All right, so here, we can get it set up. We have 11% on the first 3,000. I'm just going to go ahead and make it 0.11. I hope I didn't lose you on that. 11% times the amount. So she makes this much on 3,000 plus 15% on anything over 3,000. Well, we don't know how much over 3,000 because we don't know how much she made. N represents how much she made. And we do know that the commission is, I forgot the 460. Okay, so now we're going to do the PEMDAS. You cannot do anything because these are not like. There's no exponents on anything, so we're going to multiply. So we'll take our 0.11 times 3,000, and that gives us 330 plus 0.15 times n, and then 3,000 times 0.15, 450. Oh, deja vu. All right. Now we can combine these two right here because they are like terms. So that's going to give us 120 minus 120. So I have, this is a negative. You need to do that, go ahead. So you have a negative 450 and a positive 330 is a negative 120. Those are on the same side of the equal sign. So always simplify the sides before you start to move. Now we start to move. So I'm going to add 120, 120. So I'm left with this, that's gone. Ooh, we got 2,580. Well, I'm glad that I went through this, you guys, because they really are doing some interesting rounding on that one. So, all right. And then we'll divide in order to get to leave the n and have a 1 in front of it. We divide by 0.15. Great review of solving equations. So let's say we know where it's going to be over 3,000. 2580 divided by 0.15. 17,200. So we're good there on that one. I don't know, maybe I ought to look at that last one and see why they made it 18,300, but right now I can't see what I did. So, all right, but this one came out to what they have, $17,200, and it is over 3,000. So, all right, hey, wow. We're done with this section. So if you have any questions, and again, when you take your test, make sure that you've got these equations and examples for you to kind of follow if you need it, especially the equations. The next section's got some equations that you're going to want to make sure you have written down. Okay, all right, well, take care, and one more section in this chapter.